Good morning and welcome to episode 3 of Chasing the Sub 60. We're going to do something slightly different this time. We're going to do a full week of training. So we're going to start today with a double day, which will be intervals into an upper session later. So we're heading over to the track and we'll see you there.
Yeah, I've got to go coach.
We've just got to the track. We've got the anti-influencer Rob and the boys. We're going to hit some speedy runs, even though you... Oh yeah, I'm there. The boys in bed. If you can't see fuck all, it's probably going to fall over. But we're going to hit some 4x1Ks, 4x400s, and yeah, die. Painful death. Well, we're back from the track. That didn't actually quite go to plan. I ended up doing 2 of my intervals at the track. Beck couldn't run on it, she said it was too slippy. So I ran up to the main road, hence why there's no footage of us actually at the track. But 4x1K at 3:30 per K, and then went into 4x400 with 1 minute rest at a pace of around 3:10. So that is the first session of the week done. Now I'm going to be going to the gym tonight, so I'll probably catch you then. It's just the case at the minute really of getting the volume in where I can, making sure it's quality volume that I'm able to recover from, and then also just keeping it sport specific, doing the things that I need to do to reach the goal that I want to hit. One thing I do want to talk about is the importance of quality sessions. Now, with this being a video showing my training week, it's important to highlight the fact that whilst I do train a lot, I do about 8 or 9 sessions, only 2, maybe 3 of those each week are a quality session. Now, when you look back at every prep I've done, whether that be ultra preps, whether that be the sub 3 marathon, whether that be high rocks, whether that be powerlifting, each week there will be a focus session or a quality session. Now this can be a big hour-long high rock send with the team at Phase. This can be, you know, this morning's interval runs where we're really pushing those paces and the heart rate's high, the intensity's high. And this is so important for stimulating adaptation, for stimulating change in your physical performance and really helping develop that fitness. However, if you do too many focus sessions, if you do too much work at absolute maximal intensity where you're really pushing it and you really got that foot full on the gas, it can do more harm than good. In every athlete there's a bell curve of training volume and intensity, which means if you're not doing enough volume, there is no change. Then there's a sharp spike where you'll see massive improvements in training performance and just general fitness. But then it can also go too far the other way, where if you're doing too much volume, you start to not be able to recover from the work that you're doing, and therefore not seeing those beneficial adaptations, and therefore not improving, which is a problem that I find a lot of people fall into, especially when they're new into it and start booking races and kind of just get a little bit ahead of themselves. So my recommendation would be, when you're looking at getting into a race or when you're looking at structuring your training, pick 1 focus session a week at the beginning. Do that well, recover from it well, give yourself a rest day the day after or before to make sure that you're primed for that session, maybe even eat a little bit more. And after a month or 6 weeks, when you're able to recover from that adequately and you're feeling ready to go after that focus session, try a second one. But I wouldn't really go any more than that or do any more than that, because the volume starts to become detrimental as opposed to beneficial. That being said, the lunchtime walk is now over, so I'm going to go and make a coffee because caffeine is king. Head up, go and do some account chases because I've got quite a lot of work to get through today in terms of like calling clients who we've not yet received information for their self-assessments for 24-25 yet. And then I will be looking at heading over to the gym, getting the pre-workout in about 4 o'clock, which I will actually show you because I don't think I've showed you that yet. Which could be interesting to some people, especially the bros among us. So we're going to get ready to go to the gym to go and hit upper with Dino, and I thought I would show you the fit. I am the tightest man on the planet. I won't buy myself stuff. So when I get nice gym stuff, I tend to like reuse it all the time. And at the moment, I have a favourite article of clothing. Or 2, should I say. 1, represent 2-in-1 shorts. I always wear 2-in-1 shorts. I said this in the first episode, but I have massive thunder thighs and they rub together a lot, so I chafe really badly. So 2-in-1s are great because one, if you're on leg day, you can pull them up a little bit so you can still see your quads, but you don't chafe. And the second thing is this. Now, I never train in long sleeve tops normally. I'm a vest type of guy, but at the minute I'm putting a vest underneath this 247 trail top because I actually, one, really like the way it fits for the gym, but two, it's fantastic to run it. But yeah, they're 2 recommendations, no affiliation, obviously, because I have 11 subscribers, 12 now. But just 2 really good pieces of clothing if you're into good gym kit and you want to make one purchase as opposed to having to buy and after a few washes it be broken. Another thing you'll hear me talk about a lot is always pre-training nutrition. I am a big believer in that you should never train fasted, really, if you can avoid it. So I'm going to sing some food now. Today we've got 2 slices of sourdough, one with a little bit of soft cheese, one with jam. And then we've got a Explosade, which is Aldi's version of Lucozade Sport, with a scoop and a half of Euphoric pre-workout, which is the one I'm using currently. It is White Monster flavoured. It doesn't taste like White Monster, but it does taste lovely. Now, in all of this, it is 286 calories. Don't know if you can see that or not. 286 calories, 58 grams of carbs. So I will try and get in about 60 grams of carbs about an hour before training, which is about now. Caveat to that, I won't have my pre until about half an hour before training because I find caffeine gets in my system quite quickly. So we're going to get that in. That's going to top off the glycogen stores. It means that when we're going through the strength section, we've got the output to give. It also means that we're going to be able to train for that a little bit longer because there is a WOD at the end as well. So in theory, should be able to maintain that training intensity for that little bit longer. It's less important of an evening session because, of course, you've already consumed carbohydrate throughout the day. But in a morning, it's absolutely vital. Even if it falls down to just grabbing a handful of Haribo, I will do that as opposed to training fasted. So that is definitely something I would always recommend before any session, is get in some workout fuel by Marchon, some G1M by BPN, get in a Lucozade, get in some Haribo, whatever you can get in to take in carbs, roughly 30 to 60 grams, an hour to half an hour before training. Just do it. You will feel a difference. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel stronger. You're going to feel faster. There's no reason not to, as long as it fits within your caloric requirements. We're done on the 20-minute AMRAP. That was one of the hardest workouts I've done so far in this prep. Dino has met Jesus. That was disgusting. So it was 20 minutes of 10 power clean and press, 40 key, 30 double unders or skips, depending on what you're able to do, 10 toes to bar and 10 burpee box jump overs. And you just do that for 20 minutes on repeat. And it was sexy. Loved every second of it. Fitness has come back in a major way. It's going to be a good week, I can tell you that for nothing. Any closing words? Good night. So it is day 2. We're going to go and hit legs. One thing I did want to say this morning, or that's on the brain box, is that whilst we're very fortunate to be able to come and do this and move your body in this way and perform in the way that we do, it's not always easy. Like this morning, both of us, I think it's fair to say, would have rather have just stayed in bed. It was hard to peel yourself out the sheets.
Is it freezing?
Yeah, it's freezing as well. And get up and get over here, but you've just kind of got to do what you got to do. So we're going to go in, hit legs with Big Dino. So that is leg day done, which is session 3 of the video. And I just want to sort of elaborate on what I was saying before we got into the gym, where I think it's a common thought that people who are massively into fitness or competitive in fitness find it easy all the time to get up and get shit done. And honestly, it really isn't. Like this morning, I woke up, got to the gym at 25 to 6, but only woke up at like 5:15 because when it's cold outside, it's dark, you're already tired from the training you've done the day before, it can be really hard to peel yourself out of bed. But I think it's one of those things where if it matters to you, you have to make the time. You can't just rely on like feeling motivated or feeling ready to perform. You've got to just sometimes grit your teeth and get it done. And don't get me wrong, I love training. I love it when I'm there and I get a buzz off it and I get a thrill from it. But getting to the gym or getting to the track or getting up to do the session at like 70% of the time isn't as easy as just, oh, can't wait to train today. And yeah, obviously that does happen. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but when you're watching people and you're seeing people online and you look dead happy to train and they're in the gym all the time and they're getting after it, it's not always easy. It's not always a case of just fucking sunshine and rainbow. Sometimes it's grit. Sometimes it's working through a niggle. Sometimes it's just monotonous work that isn't fun but needs to be done. So I think in your own training, just bear that in mind. If you don't want to do a session, just do it. If you want to take a rest day tomorrow. Just keep pushing, because when you do that, 9 times out of 10 you either have the best performance that you've ever had, or you leave thinking, you know what, I'm glad I did that. Because I've never left a session that I debated calling it and not doing feeling worse than before I started. I always feel better every single time. And that would be my advice, is just get it done, crack on, have a bit of grit, have a bit of determination, have a bit of discipline, because genuinely it makes a huge difference. It really does. So finished work, out for session 2, which is a tempo run, currently at 5-minute kilometre, 8-minute mile, with an average heart rate of 137 or current heart rate of 137. Gonna do 3k easy, 5k tempo effort. Don't know what pace that'll be yet, but probably just under the 4-minute K. At the minute, work is really busy, like really quite stressful. Just a lot going on, a lot of calls, a lot of chasing, as well as the normal workload. So when you finish, your brain's just mashed and you don't really want to do anything other than just sit down, watch YouTube, chill. But there's a really good quote I like from James Clear, which is, you don't rise to the standard of your goals, we fall to the standard of our processes, and that's what this is. This is sticking to the processes, this is ticking the boxes, this is doing the work that you don't want to do, that you know needs to get done, and it's going to get you to where you want to be. And then the next time I see you, tempo will be done. I'll be going for a nice easy trot with the Alpine Bears. Tempo done, 5k, done it in about 1940 to 1945. And we've come for the cool down with the Alpine Bears. We've got Big Stevie, TikTok's newest sensation.
Anyone who wants it can fucking get it.
Highest quality TikTok content you've ever seen in your life.
Blowing up.
So give him a follow. Oh, look at that sea of head torches. Bang, lovely stuff. Getting to about 40 or 50 men strong on the Bears now. So I'm gonna tick this over. It's windy as bollocks, so you probably can't hear a word I'm saying. And that's getting left in the video. See you in a bit. So I've just got back from a wet and wonderful run with the Alpine Bears. I had 16k on the plan, ended up doing 21 just because they were doing a nice route. It ran past my front door and I've got time because Beck's in Manchester. It was really fun. Gonna get some food in now. Gonna award myself some extra food because I need to be able to recover for tomorrow's upper body session. And yeah, that's it really. Just nothing to note. It's really nice to see people that, you know, came to the Bears like last year, for example, or earlier this year, who really struggled even at like a 6-minute K, starting to do 5 and 10Ks at like 5:15, 5:20, and seeing that pace pick up and seeing how people are progressing, how much more comfortable people are, how people are able to have a conversation with you while they're running, when a couple of months ago they'd be panting their arse off at a slow jog. And it's just nice to see. So yeah, gonna get some food, gonna chill out for the rest of the night, and I'll see you guys in the morning. We'll come to the gym for upper session, which is session 5 of the week. And we've got Big Rig, because he's not been in the video yet. Woo! He's been working night, so he's not been getting in like a big dosser. So we're gonna hit an upper session, and I'll show you a few clips. Go on, let's show you. Training session is done, and today's little piece of wisdom is going to be on training intensity. So when you are strength training, there are a few things that are most important, if I'm perfectly honest. There is stability and intensity, as well as obviously recovery as well. Stability, meaning that how locked in can you get to a certain exercise, how stiff are you in the machine, how stable is that movement, that press and range, that bar path, that whatever it is. And then the second variable, which I think is the more important one, is intensity, which means how much effort are you putting into that set? How hard is it? How much are you digging, essentially? In order to elicit hypertrophic response or desired adaptation, the intensity of your strength training needs to be high. At the end of the day, it's a survival response. It's if I can't move this object, if I can't produce this amount of force, I will die from like a biological and evolutionary aspect. So when we're going into the gym, when we're trying to get bigger, when we're trying to get stronger, it's important that we do things that we've not been able to do previously, and we're constantly progressing that. And the easiest way to do that is to train fucking hard. Push the weights, push the effort, put big sends in. So I would say when you're, looking at building a strength program, or if you've got one already, the two things that you need to really consider is, how stable is this movement? Do I feel like I can really lock into the machine or get into the bench and really dig and drive with the muscle and produce that force? And two, what's the intensity like? Are you just train hard? Just how hard are you training? If you think you're training hard, train harder. If you're not pushing to failure, try it. See where you're at, because you might think you've got 1 rep left in the tank. You push to failure and realize you had 3 or 4, and then that will completely reframe your understanding of muscular intensity. So yeah, when you're strength training, train fucking hard, lift heavy ass weights, shout and whatever if you have to, but just get dialed in, get gritty with it, get angry with it if you need to, and really see where you're at in terms of strength. So that way, the next week you can add a rep, or you can add a kilo, and you can start to progress like that. Definitely train with intensity. So, workout done, high rocks chipper with the big man, Big Stevie.
Told you, anyone who wants it can fucking get it.
It was good. Good. 3k, hard effort to start. First K, 352. Second, about 340. Third, 320. So we'll take that all day of the week, every day of the week. And then into a chipper that I will put there for ease of me not saying it. I'm gonna go and get ready for work. We've got 2 workouts left of the week. We've got another high rock send with Arbeck tomorrow, and then half marathon for the Alpine Bears on Sunday. So I'll catch you later. finished the workout with Steve yesterday, got into work, had a really long day at work, didn't really film anything to be honest, and then gone in today, done the workout with Beck, which was a full run through but with only 60-second runs. We had to use the curved treadmills, we were short on time, we only had about 40 minutes, so we thought we'd just jump in, fly through the stations, get that work done, and then we've got a half marathon tomorrow. I'm not going to film the half marathon purely based on convenience because I need to edit this bad boy, which we're in the process of currently, so I can get out to you guys for 7 p.m. on Sunday as scheduled. On that point, I want to talk about intention with training, how to manage training volume, and sort of just making sure that everything that you do for purpose. Now, it's easy when people get into high rocks training to just throw workouts in. Let's just smash circuits, let's get a sweat on as often as possible, and, you know, only do specific movements, being sandbag lunges, farmer's carries, wall balls, when in reality, what you want to do is you want to employ general principles for building fitness, which typically are universal. So you want to build your aerobic base, you want to do your tempo work, you want to increase your running performance and running efficiency, but you also want to increase strength through movement patterns as opposed to specific movements. So for example, instead of me just looking at doing sandbag lunges over and over and over and over again, well, what am I going to do in its place? I'm going to do heavy lunges, heavy single leg work. I'm going to do leg press, which has got a slightly reduced range of movement that mimics the movement of a lunge, and get really good in those areas so that we can condition the muscles to the work that they're going to be doing when they're in that movement. You also need to look at how capable are you of flushing lactate. So in a high rocks, you feel a burn, your legs get pumped full of blood, it makes the running harder, your heart rate should tire. So you need to get a better understanding of how to flush out that lactate and how to kind of manage the fatigue before you get to the point where your legs are just blown up. And a good way to do that is to implement really high rep back offsets where your heart rate's getting spiked, you're filling the blood with lactate, you then understand where you're able to flush that out. So structure your training with intent. Every session should have an intention. It should have a, you know, a sports derived focus as opposed to just move this object from A to B or, you know, complete this AMRAP. That would be something that I would recommend that you consider when you're going through your programming, when you're speaking to your coach, and when you're looking at the workouts that you're doing, is what is the intention of each workout? How is this going to make you better as an athlete? When you do that, you will start to see a lot of consistent progress, and then you can deload it in time when you start to reach plateaus and then look to build again. So I am going to leave this video here because I don't want to film tomorrow. I'm not really going to have time to edit if I do that. And I hope you're enjoying the series. Please like, comment and subscribe. It was a little bit different, this one, but if it was more interesting, more fun, more engaging, please do let me know in the comment section and I will put out more video like this. I'm thinking do like a full day of eating next time because I'm going back up to my gain phase calories, which will be about 3,150 with 220 grams of protein. So it'll be a better show and better depiction of what I will eat to fuel performance and how I'm hitting those macros, how I'm maintaining that I'm still getting some micronutrients in, getting some vitamins in. So stay tuned for that, and I will catch you guys in the next one.